Now let's talk about this with the Finance Minister of Austria, Gernot Blümel, who joins me from Vienna. Minister, Austria is, we'll come to Austria lifting its restrictions in just a second. I just want to get your perspective. There is a view that when the crisis most hit and was needed most hard, the EU simply did not perform as one. Surely that has to now be admitted and reflected upon.
If those people who say so take a look at what the finance ministers of the European Union did last week, for example, we've shown massive solidarity. We've constructed an umbrella for Europe of over €500 billion. So this is a very decisive and a serious amount. Of course, different states had different views on the severity of the crisis and the virus, so different states took different measures. I'm happy to say that Austria was one of those states that took quite severe measures at the beginning, so we were able to really reduce the spread of the virus.
As you plan the reopening, what's your biggest fear? Obviously, you know, it is the resurgence of COVID-19, but how do you manage that?
Well, the first thing that we wanted to accomplish is that the spread of the virus isn't too heavy for the health system to care for all the sick people. We knew that if we wouldn't do anything, then in a few days and weeks of time, we would have had the same situation like in Italy, where doctors, for example, had to decide which patient gets the necessary cure for surviving and which one not, because there wasn't simply enough capacity. That was the reason why we shut down schools and basically the whole economy and didn't permit people to go out too much. Therefore, we managed to reduce the spread of the virus. And now, as we have a steady curve, and now as we can assure that there is enough capacity in the public health system, we try to reopen step by step our economy.
The thing that worries me, of course, is about the reopening and the resurgence. If you look after the last great recession, Europe created a lot of jobs, but it never really got the unemployment rate truly down like the US did. With this level of unemployment rising, it'll be just as difficult. What more can finance ministers do to actually get that down, that level of unemployment down?
I think there are two different steps. The first step is set the right measures during this crisis. That means protecting our economies, especially the small and medium businesses, pouring money into economies to keep people employed. We have a massive short working schemes in progress. Generally, we developed a safety net for the Austrian economy of 38 billion euros, which accounts for approximately 10% of Austrian GDP. And all the other countries in Europe are doing similar measures. That's the first step. The second is that when we see that the pandemic comes to an end, that we have to set the right measures in order to boost the economy again. And from my perspective, this would be especially anti-bureaucracy measures and lowering taxes and incenting economies to doing more investments.
Minister, I appreciate your time tonight. Busy days, I know. Thank you, sir, for joining us.